Quotes to unlock your mind. Sigmund Freud quotes, "The madman is a dreamer awake." Immorality, no less than morality, has at all times found support in religion. America is the most grandiose experiment the world has seen, but I am afraid it is not going to be a success. Whoever loves becomes humble. Those who love have, so to speak, pawned a part of their narcissism. No, our science is no illusion, but an illusion it would be to suppose that what science cannot give us, we can get elsewhere. He that has eyes to see and ears to hear may convince himself that no mortal can keep a secret. If his lips are silent, he chatters with his fingertips. Betrayal oozes out of him at every pore. Where does a thought go when it's forgotten? Religious doctrines are all illusions. They do not admit of proof, and no one can be compelled to consider them as true or to believe in them. A woman should soften, but not weaken a man. In the depths of my heart, I can't help being convinced that my dear fellow men, with a few exceptions, are worthless. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. Out of your vulnerabilities will become your strength. The behavior of a human being in sexual matters is often a prototype for the whole of his other's modes of reaction in life. Beauty has no obvious use, nor is there any clear cultural necessity for it, yet civilization could not do without it. The intention that man should be happy is not in the plan of creation. My love is something valuable to me, which I ought not to throw away without reflection. Men are more moral than they think, and far more immoral than they can imagine. Religion is an illusion, and it derives its strength from the fact that it falls in with our instinctual desires. Where the questions of religion are concerned, people are guilty of every possible kind of insincerity and intellectual misdemeanor. The virtuous man contents himself with dreaming that which the wicked man does in actual life. He does not believe that does not live according to his belief. Dreams are never concerned with trivia. Love and work are the cornerstones of our humanness. The creative writer does the same as the child at play. He creates a world of fantasy which he takes very seriously. The more the fruits of knowledge become accessible to men, the more widespread is the decline of religious belief. What progress we are making. In the Middle Ages, they would have burned me. Now they are content with burning my books. Men are strong so long as they represent a strong idea. They become powerless when they oppose it. Neurosis is the inability to tolerate ambiguity. Public self is a conditioned construct of the inner psychological self. Loneliness and darkness have just robbed me of my valuables. A man should not strive to eliminate his complexes, but to get into accord with them. They are legitimately what directs his conduct in the world. Dreams are the royal road to the unconscious. Poets are masters of us ordinary men in knowledge of the mind. because they drink its streams which we have not yet made accessible to science. No neurotic harbors thoughts of suicide which are not murderous impulses against others, redirected upon himself. The liberty of the individual is no gift of civilization. It was greatest before there was any civilization. We are so constituted that we can gain intense pleasure only from the contrast, and only very little from the condition itself. The dream is the liberation of the spirit from the pressure of external nature, a detachment of the soul from the fetters of matter. Conservatism, however, is too often a welcome excuse for lazy minds, loath to adapt themselves to fast-changing conditions. You wanted to kill your father in order to be your father yourself. Now, you are your father, but a dead father. It is a predisposition of human nature to consider an unpleasant idea untrue, and then it is easy to find arguments against it. How bold one gets when one is sure of being loved. Smoking is indispensable if one has nothing to kiss. The more perfect a person is on the outside, the more demons they have on the inside. Where such men love, they have no desire, and where they desire, they cannot love. I never want to belong to any club that would have someone like me as a member. In mourning, it is the world which has become poor and empty. In melancholia, it is the ego itself. Words and magic were in the beginning one and the same thing, and even today words retain much of their magical power. Civilized society is perpetually menaced with disintegration through this primary hostility of men towards one another. A religion, even if it calls itself a religion of love, must be hard and unloving to those who do not belong to it. When one does not have what one wants, one must want what one has. I do not in the least underestimate bisexuality. I expect it to provide all further enlightenment. Everyone owes nature a death. Neurosis is no excuse for bad manners. He who knows how to wait need make no concessions. The unconscious of one human being can react upon another without passing through the conscious. Our memory has no guarantees at all, and yet we bow, more often than is objectively justified, to the compulsion to believe what it says. Nothing that is mentally our own can ever be lost. Human life should not be considered as the proper material for wild experiments. The motive forces of fantasies are unsatisfied wishes, and every single fantasy is the fulfillment of a wish, a correction of unsatisfying reality. In matters of sexuality, we are at present, every one of us, ill or well, nothing but hypocrites. Don't miss out. Subscribe for your daily dose of wisdom. Thanks for watching.